All right, welcome to the weekly meeting, January 6th, first meeting of the week. Um, I want to start off and kind of go over um, what the plan is, what the 6 month plan is. Maybe you don't have one, but in my opinion, if if we can frame a plan and understand what we're doing for the first half of the year, right? Even if we have to adjust that plan, um, it gives us a framework, right? We can place a frame around what we're doing. So I'm just gonna pull up this GJ chart because well, for a couple reasons. I want to pull up a 6 month chart, and I want to go back to this candle right here. This candle was fibbed a while back, right? Back in last June, right? We fibbed this candle. We knew price needed to come down to the zone. Um, Actually, the zone is lower, but we knew price had to come down to the zone. Then the next 6 months, it printed this candle. So if I extend this range out, right, I can put my zone for this a little bit further down, right? So basically, I am trading with the understanding that maybe the market needs to come back down in this area for healthy price action, right? And for even if you don't believe that price needs to come down here, you can see the imbalance. There's an imbalance on the 6 month chart that we understand that price is probably going to trade down to. As I drop down in my time frames, the market came up. It gave a doji candle, came up and took liquidity from the top of the market, and it started pushing down. Now we understand that price is pushing up, probably to fill in the gaps in this wick. If I drop down to the 1 month, there we have it. We got the order block. We go up, we tap this order block, and then we can look to take sales back down to our zone, right? And on the 1 month, I see that I have an imbalance right below my zone of importance here. So if I just take this in a nutshell, I can say that I have about 1,600 pips of runway that um, over the course, I don't know, 6 months, a year, however long it takes. We don't control the length of time, but we understand that once price turns and starts to sell, that we're in a one-way market, right? We only have to look for sales at this point. Um, the same way that we knew January 1st that the market was going to push up. So um, this is why, in my opinion, as a trader, if you miss trading time, it's not going to be January 1st. Heck, it's not, because you have a one-way market. It's going one way. You don't have to guess. You don't have to um, figure it out. Um, if you traded last week, you traded with under the impression that you had about 500 pips to collect. Now, we didn't know it was going to take 1 week, a short week at that. We didn't know it was going to go 500 pips in those 2 or 3 days. But we get what we get. All we do is we trade the direction. We have a target, and price, will push into your target, or it might take 3 weeks to get to your target. We don't know that, but we had a one-way market. Now the price is in our zone. This week Now we have to pull out our little tools, and we got to put on our brainwave caps, and we have to trust that the market's going to sell first and then buy up, right? It's two different directions. Last week, you get in the market, you buy, you go to sleep. It's why you don't want to miss the one-way markets, right? Now, I do see the imbalance here. I see the momentum candle that broke these lows that gave us the CHOCH, right? I see the low we broke here. I understand that we need to trade back up into this imbalance in order to sell. So I can make the assumption that we're going to sell down first, buy up into our imbalance, and then we start the one-way market down south, right? That's the way I interpret it. That's what I anticipate. But it's just not the same as it was last week when Ray Charles could have traded uh, and made whatever percentage you wanted to make, pretty much. So I just want to paint the picture. Once we get this move next week, the down and up move, we'll be sitting at January 15th-ish, just like we were last year when we had a one-way market going up. For those of you who remember, now we're going to have a one-way market trading the JPYs down. And it likely, in all likelihood, the JPYs and the dollar will be headed down together. I mean, the dollar would have to have a heck of a run to get through this order block. You know, maybe we're just going to, I mean, we tapped into it. Maybe we'll go a little bit higher. I would like to see us push into this imbalance hit. And maybe we'll get that push this week in the dollar. Maybe we'll get a strong push and at least wick into this imbalance. This is the imbalance that I want to see filled before we push and go down south. You know, really, I want to see the dollar push all the way up to here, but you know, it is what it is. This will be the first objective, the 104 and a half area, and then we have to see what we get. But if was a fifth, you know, like we broke these highs, we came down, we got a good retracement. This should go back. This should trade up into these areas. But my point being, we got a great run on the JPYs. We didn't get a great run, in my opinion, on the dollar. I wanted to see the dollar buy uh, with more force, and I mean, we might get it. We might get a buy up and a strong push down for everything against the dollar. But again, it's not going to be a one-way market because we have to wait to see. Like we didn't have to wait to see anything last week. We knew when Tuesday opened up, we knew what time it was. We knew what we were going to see. So I expect the buy up, right? I expect the US the euro dollar, the sterling dollar, the Aussie dollar. I expect them to buy up first and then sell down. I mean, you can see the little head and shoulders we have forming. Now, how far it goes down, that's a different story. Maybe the dollar gets some great news. Maybe we get high inflation, a higher than expected number, and we start getting positive news to keep pushing the dollar higher and those other pair a little bit lower. In my opinion, because of the way that the structure is set up for me, you know, and this is just for me, the better trade is the JPYs. Now, if we get the news breaks, I would love to trade EU and GU down. If you look at this down move, we got to pull back right to the 78. And now just using the fib, this imbalance right here should be a good target. and that's around the 101 area, which would be great, for me. I just don't know that we're going to get it, and I don't know that it's going to be a smooth ride. The JPYs were a more smooth ride. So maybe the news will help us. Maybe the unrest over in the Middle East will cause the JPYs to sink. And they when they sink, they normally sink uh pretty fast. And maybe we'll get inflation news, or um the Fed did help us by saying that they're going to keep things high, but I don't know if it's enough to cause the momentum to start pushing in the direction that the charts say that we need to go. So, in my opinion, um, we're still in a wait and see. Okay, you can do this across the board. The Dow Jones, all the cryptos, everything is teetering. Everything is saying sell. The European market, the S&P, everything that we have is uh is saying it's going down. So it's a good sign for the dollar. Everything that we have dropping is actually dropping. It's going to push up first and then fall down. The only challenging part about this exercise is for you to be able to wait for price to get to where it needs to go before it goes opposite direction. Um, it's another reason why, in my opinion, trading last week, it was it's the can't miss uh, time frame in the market. Okay. Um, we pushed down, we made relative equal lows. I expect this to push back up into this imbalance before we drop, maybe even just the bottom right here where this breaker block is. I don't know if Alicia's on the call. Breaker blocks are her thing, but this will be a good area to look for a sell back down. So maybe it goes up 300 points before it sells. These are relative easy trades, um, especially if you're not trying to get the very top. Like if you're buying this up and you take profit, at this block right here, you'll be fine. It's just if you try to buy it all the way to the top, then you're in the danger zone, right? Buy it up, get you some. Don't try to get it all, and then once it starts selling, you can sell it. At least get out of your buy. Don't just go to sleep on the trade. Uh, Let me talk about this one more again, y'all. Um, I've been oil's biggest fan since October. We looked at this on the 3 month chart. We understood what was going on. Price came down right to our moving averages. It sat down and gave us a bullish order block. The last 3 months, we sold down to tap into the order block. We took liquidity from the bottom of this candle. Now we headed high. We're headed up. You don't even have to trade it. If you get in when you're supposed to get in, um, it's a buy and hold situation. If you saw this push up, broke this high, we pushed down, there was your entry. Thursday, New York open, entry. We raced into profit. We broke this high. It's probably going to pull back. It's not really a probably. This is an inside bar. It's an inside bar. It's at your resistance. You're going to pull back. So all you got to do is fib from here to get your pullback target. I want to drop to the 1 hour because I want to see where the imbalances are. I don't see any imbalance. 15-minute maybe. There's something down here at the 71.85. So price is probably going to pull back to your 71.85. If I were you, I just set me an alarm right here because this is where you need to get in. You can buy it and hold it, right? If you got in when you're supposed to get in down here, that position will never go back into drawdown. Look to get in, ride it up. Who knows how high this is really going to go? Everybody understands the little war situation that we have over there. It's not going to get better. it's probably going to get worse. But everything about this oil chart, from the chalk, right? Price comes down, we break this high. If you fib from down here to up here, there's your pullback to get in the trade. Now you're going higher. If you got in here, then you're blue. So just some long-term plays that you can look to get in. If you don't want to sell any of these like gold or oil or Bitcoin or Solana, any of that stuff, you don't want to sell it. What I suggest that you guys do is put an alert in your target area so you can at least buy it for the next run up, right? Because if you don't put the target, if you don't buy it, then you're going to be chasing the tail the entire run, right? Or you're just going to miss it. And this is 2024. Maybe you missed the bull run of 2020. Maybe you missed the sell-off in 2022. And maybe, nobody caught the run up, whenever the Fed stopped raising rates, or they said they were going to they're going to hold, and everything exploded. Now is the first pullback from that range, right? So if you look at this in terms of weeks, from the end of October, so the first quarter of the fiscal year, right? The first quarter of the fiscal year, price has blown up, right? Now we expect price to pull back. This will be the first pullback of this new bullish cycle. This bull run is because the Fed is not raising interest rates, right? Now it's going to pull back. If this is your area of interest, all you got to do is fib this move. Wherever your area of interest is, you should have an alert because you can buy at that point and you can enjoy the next run, right? Here's my golden zone. Here's my 78. There's imbalance. There's more imbalance. When price gets back down to 35, 34, 33 area, you need to be prepared to find you an entry for when this thing first turns around. Now you don't have to rush anything. It's gonna give you a bullish order block, right? You don't necessarily have to be in on the very bottom, but once you get that order block, the next week when it pulls back, bro, you got to be on the trigger. If you're taking this in your personal account, you can use a mini. Use the Dow Jones mini. Get you a position that doesn't hurt. In 3 or 4 weeks, trust me, you'll have enough money to add another position. If you look at this 1, 2, 3 weeks, and in 3 weeks, this thing went from 32.3 to 34.8, 2,000 points. So trust me, when it starts pushing, the same way this pushed, you'll have plenty of time to add to your position. You have to start looking at this a little bit different. Some of us aren't going to be able to trade in and out of the indices. So you wait for the pullback, you get you an entry. Maybe you just hold that entry for 3 or 4 months. Maybe you hold it for until the next pullback. It's not like you won't see it. If you got in right here, trust me, you're not hurting. And this week didn't do nothing to hurt you. It pulled back a little bit, but you're still smiling. Now you take your profit because you know it's going to sell. And maybe then you'll have a little courage to put a sell trade in to collect more money. But we all have to start somewhere. And the mini is an opportunity for us to start on a level that won't hurt us, when we make mistakes. I mean, it all hurts, but it won't kill you, won't knock you out the box. But we also have to start trusting what we see. We have to be able to anticipate moves. And I think that starts with at least looking at the higher time frame, right? Because if you don't ever anticipate, then you're always chasing the tail. In my opinion, the best way to do it is to anticipate and then wait for the market to give you what you need. Here's another thing, guys. Like I was on the beginner call yesterday, and it's a lot of beginners that's not even on that call. So I would encourage you, if this is something that you really want to do, to spend the time. I mean, you have everybody here is volunteering their time. And it doesn't matter where you live in the world, because somebody is always on Zoom volunteering their time. Whether it's the 5 o'clock PM call, the market close call, whether it's today, whether it's like 10 o'clock at night, whether it's you have all these people who come and they freely give of themselves, and they give of their time. They try to help you find trade setups. They try to explain how they look for trade setups. We all might do it a little bit differently, but the bottom line is, all of it is to help you get to the bag. And it's telling, when you log on to a Zoom call, and basically it's the same few faces, but then you have people claiming that they're trying to learn. I would beg to differ. Whenever I was in learn mode, I was 24/7 on the on the Zooms or on the charts. So I would just encourage you to don't let another year slip through your palms without taking full advantage of the opportunities. This community is totally free, and in my opinion, it's some great traders here. People with great ideas, and you know you can get whatever you're looking for. You can get quarters theory, you can get support and resistance, you can get supply and demand, you can get long range trading, you can get short range trading, you can get 30-minute chart breakdowns, 1 hour chart breakdowns, 4 hour chart breakdowns, 2 month chart breakdowns. Bruh, like, you can get whatever it is that you're looking for. Uh, if you're actually looking. So, it's easy to give lip service. It's easy to say, hey, I want to learn to trade. Hey, I want to be a trader. But it's harder to actually do it. Um, some people need motivation, but discipline is what is there when the motivation runs out. When you're not motivated, when you're in a rut, the discipline is what's going to carry you. Motivation ain't. So if you need to be motivated, good luck, because discipline is what pays in trading, not motivation. Okay. With that being said, it was about 35 different order blocks. I'm not going to go over them all them order blocks. It's a bunch. you know, in my opinion, if you go to a higher time frame and you get a longer range target, maybe the 6 month, and you target the pullback of the 6 month target, then you'll have a um, at least a plan of attack to trade in that direction until that target is met, right? And in my opinion, the US 30 and the rest of those indices aren't the best to try to trade a pullback all the way to the zone, right? Because you just might not get it. But in those currency pairs, those are great opportunities to set a target and then trade in that direction. And even if you don't want to go to the 6 month, maybe that's too high. I think a 2 month chart is perfect. And I'll never forget. And I keep bringing this up, but if you look at this 2 month from last year, you know, once January 15th hit, man, the market just pushed that one direction, right? Pushed up here, you got a retracement, but then it just pushed straight up. And if you were on that side of the market, you got paid. And here we are again, start January, and we start the push up. The same thing. The market is cyclical, man. It's remarkable, how it actually works. So once we get to our area, we're going to trigger the sell. Now, maybe we'll sell and the dollar will regain strength again. Or maybe this time it'll actually sell off. The big wigs are calling for the dollar to actually sell off. But since we're on these higher time frames, we don't have to guess. You know, all we know is we can expect to sell once it gets to our zone. Much the same way we got the sell here, right? But when we sell here, we'll have a target down here, that we need to hit. And we can sell it to that target. We don't have to guess after that. We'll get order blocks that set up along the way that will guide the directional bias for us to trade. But it's the very reason that I knew that we were buying at the end of the month there, because we had sold off. I knew we were at the end of a quarter, at the end of 6 months. I knew we needed to buy. I didn't expect us to go 500 points in that week, but it is what it is, and I'll take it. So if I were you guys, um, you know, it, maybe you can start paying attention to the higher time frames. Maybe you will get you it'll better prepare you for the directional bias. A lot of great trade setups. I want to kind of shut up and allow people, whoever you may be, if you want to break down your chart, if you want to uh if you have questions on a trade idea, y'all go ahead. I'll give you the floor to ask what you feel like you need to ask, or share your trade setup and see if you can break down your chart, or if you need help breaking down your chart, or whatever the case may be. Does anybody want to break down the chart? Does anybody have a trade idea?
All right. So while we think about that, we talk about the people that we always see in the meetings. Shout out to those people because if it wasn't for that, nothing would be happening. So we really appreciate the support, right? Because it becomes a support thing at that point. If we just took the people that are always in the meeting and just cut everybody else out, then at least we know the people that are in the meeting are always going to be there, and then we just build it from there, right? We're not going to do that, but when you think about it, that's really what should be done because people don't really take it and use it for what it's supposed to be used for, um, because they don't know what to believe. They don't know what it means to be profitable. They don't know how important it is to get this thing. I mean, they know what the importance of getting it done, but until they actually do it, they don't see how the simplicity of it. So once you do see the simplicity of it and you are actively profitable, it's a different mind frame at that point. We're trying to get people to that mind frame so that they can have more peace. But I say that to say when you're at the meetings and you're not really being vocal, you're not, it comes across as you're not really doing anything. And that can only go for so long. You got to speak, right? And we got to try to help you to that. But every time we go to it and nobody does nothing, it's like, you guys got to do something, man. Like, don't just let it pass you by like that. You got to do something, especially if you're not profitable. Be the one that steps up and says, hey, I'll do it because you're going to blossom, right? You will, because you're going to go through the phases. And you're gonna put yourself in an accountability mode, right? So think about it. We always say it, right? But those meetings, they're not being utilized the way they need to be utilized. I don't know how else to put it, but we appreciate the people that are always there because that's at least gives us some type of feeling that okay, it's important to someone, right? And then, of course, the people who are running the meetings, it's going to constantly be these people running the meetings until somebody takes over. Right? You want to be available to take over because these people can't do this stuff all the time. Right? So we got to keep nailing that. Right? When you're profitable and it's working for you and you're available, be available. Right? For the people. Yeah. My voice can't be heard all the time. It's got to be somebody else's voice. My voice, for some people, don't need to be heard none of the time. You want to hear the type of person you want to hear, but where are they? Are they trained up? Or do they have all the particulars? The only way they're going to do that is by practicing at home. This is home, right? So we practice it at home. The next layer, the next wave of people has to come in and take over. But you can't do that until you're profitable, right? But when you're profitable, you're super excited. But then it's like, okay, are you going to pay it forward at that point? Or are you just going to run into the sunset and then you won and then screw everybody else? I don't think it works that way. Not when you really understand how it works. You want to give it to someone because it's so easy. The people who know, they know. So, but speaking is not for a lot of people. They don't want to do that part, and that's fine. If they get it, they get it. But it's the people who don't. You have to get out there and start speaking, right? Because you'll start speaking what it's supposed to be. Now you can hear it coming out of yourself. Now you can make the proper decisions because you're surrounded by people who are making you make the proper decisions. That's all it is. So this is going to be a great year, and we already know what's going to happen. Get on board.
Todd, the pair that I was gonna do was GJ. You already analyzed it. I marked that up, but I'll be willing to mark up another pair if nobody else will. But I'm trading GJ.
Okay. I mean, this this is my last week entry and markup. Um it everybody has to get to a point to where you're not scared to share, or you can demonstrate an understanding of what's going on, right? Anybody could have anybody could have traded this from last week. Anybody could have caught the any of these moves based on the information that we all have discussed over and over. So did you say you wanted to break down, GJ, or I already broke it down?
I said you had already broke it down, so wasn't no need to be doing it again.
Okay. So is everybody
Yeah, we looked at oil too. That's the one I was looking at too. We already did that breakdown as well.
the US oil is don't sleep on it.
Yeah, it's looking real tasty.
Yeah, and
That pullback.
you can buy and hold that. That's the thing. Um, when you catch it, you catch it.
So when this thing flips for us, when it finally flips for us, we can't get the people to not volunteer. Everybody's going to want to come up and do their thing, right? That's when we know it flipped. We've had an elevation through this last year, but this year is going to be another elevation. It's going to be where we can't get the people to. There's going to be a line of people that want to do this. All right, I can't wait to see that happen. It's coming.
So basically, everybody is good.
Hey Todd, I can share the trade that I took last week. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Can you guys can see my screen and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, we can say
Okay.
it.
All right. So I will start on the higher time frame. I have been watching the Market Maker series lately, so I've been trying to really understand where price like key levels are and like where liquidity is. I never really understood that fully. So I've been kind of working on that. I started from the higher time frame. On the monthly, obviously, there's a bearish order block here. I expected for price to buy into this order block at least to the golden zone. So I had my golden zone marked here, and then I have my 78.6 for the monthly marked here. I went down to the weekly to note areas of liquidity, like the closest area of liquidity where price can be drawn to. That's up here on top of these wicks. And I think on the lower time frame, I drew this, I'm on my phone, sorry guys. This line of liquidity here. I dropped down to the 4-hour time frame. And because I had this liquidity area here, I noticed, or I think this is on like Tuesday night, it wicked this low, and then it created a 4-hour order block. And when I looked at it, it had just tapped in. So I took the trade from this point and I held it for over 230 pips. I used proper risk management and I didn't allow pullbacks and to play me out of the trade. That's usually what I did. So what I used to do. So I held it to 157. It's over 230 pips.
That
That's it.
is monstrous. I mean, that's the name of the game. And having your analysis in front of you is the key, because psychologically those pullbacks screw with us.
Yes.
To be up
Yes.
a certain amount of money, as soon as it pulls back, I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Right.
And
Right.
we never get back in the trade on time. It doesn't
Yeah.
work like that.
Yeah. In the Market Maker series, I can't remember which episode it is, maybe 3. ICT like breaks down every single day. And he's like, if you miss the first day, the next day there's going to be a pullback, I think in New York time or whatever, especially if it's going higher, right? There'll be a pullback for you to get in. And for some reason before, I guess because I didn't know this, but the pullback just had me in a chokehold for so long, but now I'm not letting it scare me anymore. And I got in at a really good place. My entry was great. So yeah.
That's powerful. The pullback it messes with everybody.
Yeah.
It's the very reason why people can't buy into a red candle. If you could master that piece alone, buying into a red candle, you'll make a lot more money. But it's just a process. It takes time to be able to do that. I mean, first of all, you have to trust what you drew up on the chart. Like if
Exactly.
your analysis, you have to trust it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And psychologically, the hurts that we've suffered throughout the years of things that we couldn't trust, right? So we have anxiety issues when something is not what it's supposed to be. So you have to emulate the market. We say it's manipulated and things like that. Yeah, that is true, but it still moves like an organism. And it tells you everything you need to know. You can trust it. You have to learn its language, though. So I can hear in your voice the anxiety. I know people can hear anxiety in my voice. I'm 100% service connected for post-traumatic stress. So you'll hear it in my voice. But I have total control of my trading. And I love it, right? But it doesn't make me not have post-traumatic stress anymore because I'm profitable. But got to learn how to trust what you see. That's what we keep telling people. They don't trust it because they don't know how to slow down yet. In anything, not just trading. Your trading shows life. You're not able to slow down in life. You're not able to slow down your trading, and you keep getting burnt until you slow down. Right? Nothing to fear.
Can I say something?
It's your oyster.
Britt, I'm
Yeah.
happy that you took this trade. I took the same trade, and my analysis was also on point with yours, because I also
Yes.
took it from the view of the higher time frame, and it did scare me, and I took my profits at the pullback. However, I left a runner, so
Yeah, yeah.
some of the 200 pips, something pips too. But I'm glad to hear that you didn't let it scare you out. So awesome, very great.
Thanks, Elfie. And thanks a lot for your help.
Yeah, I heard about the midnight shift. I heard it's becoming a thing.
What?
The London session. Yeah, you guys are doing your thing in London. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's excellent, man. Um, Getting that next entry, right? We're getting the first one. We know how to take a little bit of partial off of it and leave a runner, right? But I challenge you to get two entries to do it with, right? May not be ready for it right now, but we're getting that one entry complete, right? Then that turns into two entries at the same position. Now you can take out one completely and then leave a runner on the other one. Like, so just think about it, right? Because you guys are starting to graduate into being able to do these types of things. So you're moving right along into it. Because once you're able to do it, you're gonna naturally fall into it. If you keep doing what you're doing and you're consistently winning, you're gonna start wanting to do the next part. You can't help but to do it because you know it's right. So you're just going to expand over time. It's a big compound, and it's the greatest compound ever because it's life.
That higher time frame is where it's at, man. Like once you see it, all you gotta, it's gonna play out. All you gotta do is enter, set your take profit, and grab your popcorn. Like Ant always posted little popcorn emoji.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the inside ball.
And the inside bar is super powerful, man. If you see that
Todd,
inside bar, it's
learn that inside bar is the opposite of the order block. That's what I learned after our class last night. It's an order block backwards.
that inside bar tell you the truth, but it get a whole trade away. So anybody have any questions?
When we use the inside bar on a weekly, where do we put our stop loss area?
Well, you're gonna have to use the structure to. I mean, I can't just tell you that. Sometimes you get an inside bar and price will sweep the lows. Does the inside bar give you equal lows? You know, if you have equal lows, chances are those equal lows are going to get swept.
Okay, so we need to wait for the trade to give us the actual order block for the 4 hour.
Well, I don't know. I didn't say that. And I don't wait for 4 hours. Heck no. If the trade moves in that direction after it gives me the bar, I'm in the trade. You know, but everybody trades a little bit differently. And
So okay, so there's two different like 4 hour order blocks. 4 hour order block, not necessarily the one that comes after the MA, but the one just a regular 4 hour order block. Like it could give you a 4 hour order block the first 4 hours of the, Sunday or something like that, or Monday, or maybe it doesn't give you that 4 hour order block until Monday London, or the first Sunday, and then into that night Monday London, and then that's technically what you're saying, like when you see the trade start going in your direction.
well, I don't necessarily follow what you're saying, but you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this. This is an inside bar right here. You have this candle. This next candle does not break the low. It don't break the high. It's this bar is inside of this candle. I'm expecting a long, right? So I don't know if this is going to sweep these lows.
Because there's no wick on the bottom of that either.
Like, to me, it's immaterial. Even if it was a wick on the bottom of this one, my point is I expect a long. I just don't know how far down it's going to go. So with that being said, maybe I want to put my stop loss at this swing low.
Okay.
All I'm saying is I know we're going long, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
there are several different tools that we can use. We can use this fib, right?
Mhm.
Maybe here's the 78. Maybe I anticipate it coming to the 78. I don't, all that to me personally, is all immaterial. I
Oh,
know we're going long from here because we're at the bottom. We ran liquidity this first time. We got the chalk. We pushed up and got the chalk. This pulled back to let me in the trade. For me, I'm good. If I protect this low, or if I decide I want a smaller stop loss to protect the 78, I'm going to put my hedge either here or here.
okay. I see. Yeah, just use the previous structure low.
Right. I mean, but at the end of the day, this is an inside bar. It's at a level of resistance or support. So I expect the trade to go the opposite direction. The same way is if you had an inside bar at the level of resistance. I don't even remember what trade we were talking about last week. It was GJ. What wasn't it? It was GJ.
I think
Um,
it was. Oh, yeah,
it was GJ because I remember it was me and Kim that were talking about it.
uh,
We had this candle, and then we had this candle.
and it was
Is that right?
inside.
Yeah. So we knew the trade was going to go the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, whether you get in this trade and you protect this swing low, or you get in the trade and you protect this first low, I don't care. Even if you got stopped out on that first low, you get right back in and protect this low. Because
Mm-hmm.
you know that the trade is going back. Look, we're all going to lose trades. So if you lose a trade because you get wicked out, okay, that's cool. It doesn't mean your idea was bad. Maybe where you put your stop loss wasn't ideal. Maybe you should have protected this swing low. But if you get stopped out right here, then you shouldn't. I mean, you lose a trade. If you lose 1%, if you went 2%, you lose 2. Get back in, grab. You're gonna make it. I mean, the trade idea is a valid idea. You just
Mm-hmm.
got greedy or got, you wanted to use a bigger lot size. You got spanked. Get back in the trade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that answered my question. Thank you. Thank you. Just a refresher. You know how it is. You know how it be.
Yeah, I just think it's another tool you can add to the toolkit. However you're trading, whether it's supply and demand, support and resistance, order blocks, whatever. At the end of the day, the candles, right? The candles tell the story. Price comes down to support. You get this inside bar right here, which happens to be a bullish order block too. The next trade, we go higher. I mean, just understanding where you are on the chart.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it gives you everything that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Just add it to the toolkit. It's not that you have to ditch any information that you already have. It's just something else that you can look at that might tip the scales in your favor as far as giving you an advantage, right?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
If you're trading the JPYs and you're in love with them, Sell for next week. You know, that will start the week up. We can sell the JPYs, sell them to buy them. And I think multiple people have that same analysis. How you came to your analysis might be different than the way I came to mine, or Leandra came to hers, or Kim came to hers. But the bottom line is, if everybody is saying the same thing, there's a good chance you'll be on the right side of that trade. And after that, the only thing to determine is your entry, right? When do you enter that trade? Some people are already entered the trade for a sale. They're already in the sale right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I think that a lot of times we get caught up in the minutia, when in reality, we just have to make sure we see it first of all, you know, and once we see it, we execute it, right? Like this is a sell, you know, it's going to sell, right? And if we drop down time frames, we've already pushed down, right? We pushed down, we had the big imbalance that gave us the chalk. We traded back up into the imbalance. We got a bearish order block. We're going to tank, right? Once we sell, we'll buy back up. So maybe you need to go to a higher time frame. Maybe you need to fib the entire move, see where it's going to pull back to. Look at the imbalance. Pull back, buy back up. It buys back up maybe to this level before it sells off for a longer term. Whatever your analysis is, and this, I just want to encourage people, man. People took time to make all those folders to have all those pairs, JPY pairs, Euro pairs. Drop your analysis in them. People will comment on your analysis. Either they agree or they have something different. That's only going to help you as a trader.
You know, I started viewing it as a documentation. I didn't see it that way at first, but now when I look back on everything I've done, all the voice notes, all the posting of the pictures and all that is a documentation. All right. So just for people that are coming in, when you do that, you're now accountable for what you're posting, what videos you post, what are they talking about? What are you marking the chart up for? You're explaining it. How great can you make your distribution of your information? How simplistic, but yet great can you make that when you post, right? Think about that. I don't just post just anything. I post the best of what I can post, right? I push myself to do that. I want you to understand, like I know what I'm looking for. So when I see what I'm looking for and I have somebody else explaining what I'm talking about, then I promote that, right? So just a word of advice.
Mm-hmm. That I like that too. I've been doing that. Been doing that as well. Helping me look, and then when I look back, I'm like, okay, I see what happened here. Or, oh, that was a great trade, you know, with my
Well,
notes inside of it.
your trades are going to continually become great. Now you're like, I don't remember nothing no more because I'm just going through what it's right.
Sorry.
So I'm getting the success in the trades and I don't even remember, right? Because I'm so far into the pip count. I don't even count pips no more. I just go for the wins. It's just like that now. I don't even count the pips no more. It's too many pips.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Tanisha,
Yes, sir.
as soon as I hear you say, "What up, folks?" I just turn it up. So as soon as I hear that, as soon as I hear you say it, I click off of it. I don't even hear your notes. Hey, what's up, Landon? Leandra, you got your hand raised.
Sorry, my internet's playing up at the moment. No, I wanted to go on my frustrations for the trades that I took last week.
Let it out, girl.
Because I was in drawdown on a prop firm account, and I brought it back to life and passed it. But with, I don't know if you want me to go over US 30 or UJ.
It's your oyster. What would you like?
I don't know what's beneficial. I can't clear it.
You got wrecked on UJ?
No. I didn't get.
Oh,
I nearly got wrecked on US 30 though. Can you see my screen?
yeah.
So my analysis for US 30 is I always go on the higher time frame, especially if we're at the start of the year. So this is perfect. So we know that this is a bullish order block on the 12-month. We know that we're eventually going to push back up, but price needs to pull down. So let's go to the 3 months. We've got a more cleaner bullish order block. So this is more of a long-term range for the 3-month candle. Go down to the monthly, price at least needs to come all the way down to fill in this huge imbalance. And as we know, US 30 has been going, the momentum for bullishness last month in December was extreme. So there's a lot of imbalances that need to be filled. So on the weekly, I think I went down to daily. Yeah, I went straight down to the daily because that's where I saw Friday, Tuesday. So I didn't trade Tuesday, but after it made this bearish order block on Wednesday, because I wanted more of a signal that this is definitely going to continue to sell. And this was the high of the high. So I waited for this wick to take out these relatively equal highs on the daily. And then fibbed this daily bearish order block from Wednesday, bearish daily order block, and then got my levels. So this expectation for price to pull back at least to the golden zone. But then if I go down a time frame, so mark this up, we had a 1 hour and 2 hour and a 15-minute bearish order block here. So price, I think it rejected off the 15-minute. So
I mean, everything looks great. What was the problem?
that's Wednesday. Yeah. So price did reject off the higher time frame or bearish order block here and then pull back a little bit, then continue rally to the 1 hour bearish order block. So it didn't go all the way to the 78 of the fib, but I think it was like 32 pips that I missed it. Yeah, like 19 pips. But then it gave this bearish order block, which is brill. But then it was this buy on Friday that caught me off guard. Because I was expecting price to continue selling, but it reacted off this. What is this?
You know you don't flip the bias on a Friday, right?
But you
know.
also knew it was NFP week.
Can you say
Uh,
say
I
say
know.
it back?
get it, Elfie, get it.
Why do
So-
you even trade the US 30 if you had a zillion pips available in GJ, in UJ,
Yeah.
in
Okay.
EJ? Just wonder.
Okay. I'll show you that in a second. So I got in for the sell, got the sell position, went to my target, went past my target, and then it brought up, cool. So I let it buy. Did I enter in for a buy? No, I didn't. I ended my sells and I didn't enter for a buy. So I just waited to see what it was going to do. And then it started selling off again. And this is what caught my eye. This gap, GIP, gap in price. So you would only see this on MT4, MT5. So if I go to another chart, this is an 8-cap chart. So on MT4, MT5, if you're with a prop firm, you would see these gaps in price. And there was another. So this was my target, but I over leveraged, so I couldn't hold. So I got in here and then it pulled down and then it didn't pull all the way. And then it continued selling, but I put my stop loss in profit. So I took profit, but it just pulled back. And I was like, but why?
What strategy is that?
And me and Anthony sold. He sold to the gap. I sold it all the way down.
Yeah, at that point, I was planning to sell it to the gap because this is the 2022 ICT strategy.
Well,
Oh.
yeah, I was overall bearish anyway, so I was selling it past that gap.
Yeah, I know. I would have probably, that was my aim, to sell it past the gap, but the gap would have been just enough for me. It would have, because that was, I think it was
Why do you
like
over? What?
90 pips.
But why would you over leverage?
I over leveraged.
Well, this is what I'm asking. How many times has that helped you?
I over leveraged on the risk that I had for that day. So it was like $500 risk. And I over leveraged.
But you're not answering the question. You're still not answering the question.
Because I wanted to pass phase 2.
How many times has over leveraging helped you?
Never.
So when are we going to stop doing it?
Well, I didn't over leverage all week until then, and then I just stopped.
I know this is 2024 though. When are we going to stop at all? When are we going to stop over leveraging?
Well, at least I'm honest.
Well, I get it, but I'm asking. You don't owe me an answer to the question. I mean, this is really for everybody in the room. If over leveraging, I mean, if you can name a time when it's actually helped you, I got it, right? And maybe you'll say, hey, well, Todd, it helped me because I made $12,000 in this trade. And then I'll ask you, well, did you withdraw it? Because chances are you didn't. You made that money, and then before you got to your withdrawal, you blew because you kept over leveraging. It doesn't help us. It never helped me, right? I think if you want a blueprint to actually making money consistently over a long period of time, it's not going to involve over leveraging. There are times when you can over leverage, but it takes a long time for you to understand when, and it's probably the start of a move, of a fresh move, right? And that's it. It's not going to be the entire trade.
Now, can I ask, where did you say you got in at?
This is the thing, I didn't follow my rules because I didn't even mark it up on this chart.
Yeah, but where did you enter?
It was like here with this order block. It's 5-minute order block.
So it was not below the EMAs. It was on the wrong side of the EMAs. At that area that you pointed at.
Yeah, but I wouldn't look at that
on
a lower time frame.
I want you to put it in words. I want you to put it in words. What happened? Where did you enter?
So I entered, it was around here. Yeah.
It has to be the red candle that's below the EMAs. That's the only thing that would make sense. Right? So let's just say you got in at that red candle. Now, if you fib the top all the way down to the bottom, you know that the 78 is above your entry. It's over there to the right. If you fib that, you know where the entry point is. Now, if you're going to over leverage, you have to over leverage at the 78, not the 62.
In which section here?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can't see it. Everybody that knows how to use a fib can see that without the fib, right? The fib, that's the 78, right? Or is that the 62?
But where are you fibbing it to down here? This wick?
Where you're supposed to fib it to. You only fib it to where you're supposed to fib it to, right? The top to the bottom. Now you got your fib up. Now, the only way you can set that fib is until that candle's set. Now you have a place to put the fib. Now you can go and catch your retracement. So if you caught an entry before you were able to set the fib, you're out of place. You got to, after you set the fib, now you get your entry. Now you've done step 1 to step 2. If you can't do step 1 to step 2, you've blown everything up.
And that's what I put in my notes. Is that I didn't follow my rules and my setup. I was just
why though? Why?
trading. But this is what I put in my notes. Like,
that don't need to be in the notes. That's common sense.
Yeah, I just want to know why you didn't follow your rules.
I know, because I said, oh, I'm just gonna trade it next week. Like, just leave it till next week. And I was like, oh, this is a good setup. And then I was like, yeah, just itchy fingers.
Tear you up.
Other itchy fingers. I was like, stop. Ain't working.
It's definitely gonna happen if you guys are not journaling. So if you're not journaling, that's what's gonna happen.
No.
Good evening, brother.
Hey, what's up, Noah?
Yeah, it's a lot of personal excuses, right? Like if we sat next to each other, I wouldn't let you do any of the stuff that you're doing. But it's not meant for me to stop you from doing what you're doing. You got to stop you from doing what you're doing. The most simplest things that you can do in your day, and you choose not to do those things. Right? And we had to hear you say it, right? That's why people don't want to speak, because they don't want to be put on blast. We appreciate you for doing that, because we need to talk about that. The reason why you got to speak, because we want to understand what you know. What is your reasoning? We can hear your reasoning. We're not knuckleheads. We can hear everything you're saying, right? Well, we need you to say it so we can tweak you just a little bit, right? And hold you accountable. And you're going to be, okay, I'm going to be accountable, right? Yes. Next time you explain it, it's not going to sound like this. You're going to say, I did this, 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 and this. That's what's going to happen because you do it.
Yeah, for the rest of my trades that I took earlier that day, I did this. But for this one, it was just like an itchy, and that's what I'm saying, this buy up, I wasn't expecting it. And then, so I didn't do my whole rules and my analysis like I would normally do for this extension of this continuation of the sell. And plus, it was kind of like after it went to my target, I really shouldn't have traded anymore. I should have just stopped there, which I obviously didn't. But
it's funny because
my flaws. The rest of my trades were good this week. I initially, and the thing is that initially with all my trades this week, I entered in with either a 0.0 lot size, 0.01 or like 2 or 4, and then sometimes I just, if it goes in the opposite direction, then I take off bit by bit.
It's a beautiful thing.
Let the positives run. But yeah, like GU messed me up a little bit of my psychology, but that wasn't my main trades. I was just, but yeah.
When you went through it, you look like it didn't look like there was no problem, because when you started, you were like, okay, I had this problem. We're looking at the analysis like, wait a minute, where's the problem? Because everything looks like it's marked up correctly. Like, where was the problem at? Yeah. But the 0.01s, like you said, for people that don't use those 0.01s to their advantage, like that just helps you just start from scratch and really get into your true lot size that you love to use. The 0.01s into the 0.05s and the 0.10, play with that area, and then you're just going to graduate into standard lots. Just take your time with it and look for your 78s and your 88s, right? That's when you want to go up to a 0.10 or 0.50. That's the time you go over leverage. Whenever you're at your 78, It's simple. We don't have to do all this marking up. You know what a 78 looks like. You know what it looks like without the fib. Put the fib on it to be more pinpoint. And when it gets to your 78, that's when you over leverage. For people who love to over leverage, always over leverage at the 78. How about that? Let's call it what you want it. That's how you like to go. Go. You still gonna blow some accounts because it ain't always gonna be the 78, but that's your best opportunity is your 78 retracement. These are the facts.
Yeah, like my
And the
my
fact not be disputed.
Hey,
my UJ trades were based on the higher time frame of the 3 month. So my target was the 50% golden zone, or in between that. I found it Gambox 50% level. So if price went to that, daily. Let me go down to the daily circle. Daily imbalance, like profit target, because there's an imbalance there, and then an order block inside the golden zone. So that was one of our main targets. But I took out before because I didn't need to take price all the way there. And I saw that this move after news, the acceleration, the exhaustion, I thought I'm just going to take out. Oh yeah, that's on here. I don't know if you can see. I got in a bit late on this trade, because my initial account, it wasn't working on MT5, and then Smart Prop wouldn't like help, so yeah, I had to deal with them. So I was waiting for them to get back to me, but they didn't. So I got in with a 0.01 and a 0.10 a lot size, because I thought if I just get in with a 0.1 then see if this plays out, because it was already running. If you look on the 4 hours, probably there. Look, I got in at a really dodgy position because a pullback could have pulled me out. So I thought I'm just going to get in for a 0.01 and a 0.10. So because if a pullback happens, I'm not in a large lot size, and it won't damage me, won't hurt my account as much.
what's your goal? Where are you going?
Here, 50%.
What's the
Well,
price?
1.4, is it
$1.40.
$1.46?
Oh, yeah. 146. Yeah.
So over the days, so this was Wednesday, and then Thursday I got in at London's, just as London took the liquidity, and done the 4 hours. I think it was the 2 hours. Yeah, the 2 hours, nice. Yeah, this is London session. So I got in when I saw this wick. I just got in for the trades, because I thought this is just going to expand, and it's not going to pull any back here. So that's when I doubled up a 2.5 lot, and then this is Thursday. That's 7. Is this New York time? So that was New York. No, it's not. That's right. I got in here. I remember this week. I got in at this swing low, and I thought, yeah, this is definitely expanding higher. Sorry, tell lie. I got in at doji. I can see where I put this line. Yeah, this consolidation, this had me at a worry. But then it made this bearish order block, and I thought it's not going to go past this low. So I just kept my trades in. And that was 4.8 lots. And then
You didn't
plus,
see the seller's inducement?
pardon?
You didn't see that seller's inducement there? Do you see how it's flat across the top like that?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that
Right.
that buy side liquidity, and I thought that needs to get ran.
Yeah.
So once this bearish candle dropped, I thought this needs to get ran because they've just created so much liquidity. Buy side
And then,
liquidity
and
here.
then inside bar again. There's the inside bar.
Yeah. And then you've got this doji candle on Morningstar.
Tap in. Yeah.
So then which helped me keep more, which helped me have a more calm mindset about this trade, because I thought,
Yeah.
okay, since it's, you know, it hasn't taken the buy side during London and it's taking the sell side. I got in a bit too early. I should have waited, but it played off. Well, I did have a tight stop loss on that one. And plus I already had profit from my other trades. And then I think I took out around here. This is when I was in trouble because I was already down in my account 3K. And so I thought, I'm not risking being taken out by swap or what's it called again when it's what is it called, floating drawdown by a prop firm. So I thought, do you know what, I'm already in profit more than I ever needed. Let me just take it, and then tomorrow if I see a good setup I'll enter. But during Asian session, that is when the setup actually came to fruition. Yeah, Friday, Asian session into London. That's had a really good setup for the further run up. But I think I got in for some more buys in the competition account, and I took it to the high. Like in the competition account, I was just adding 10 times more because I got in better positions in the competition than I did in my prop firm account. Because
why do we always have to convince ourselves that there's going to be trades tomorrow? Like we can't get out of the trade for some reason. Like we have to convince ourselves. Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I was a few pips away from passing, and I thought, you know what, don't risk it. There's always going to be more trades tomorrow. And my plan was, okay, I'm in profit. I can go to US 30 and not over leverage, but get in for the sell, because after Thursday,
You never have to over leverage. You never.
I didn't over leverage. I didn't.
You don't have to trade the US 30. You're better with the other trade.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I'm telling like we go through half the analysis and she says I'm down 3,000. I'm like, what do you mean you're down 3,000? I thought we were up like 10 million.
Yeah.
How are we down 3,000?
The funny part about it is you're in the trade where you could make $1 million off the U. I had 2 positions in that UJ trade, over 6K.
Hey,
you know, I mean, come on, man. These are give me opportunities. And I hear you didn't get in on time on your UJ because you had a problem with your account. But my point is, these entries and these trade setups are moving exactly as you point out. They don't go back 150 pips. They don't pull back like the US 30. It's not going to fool you. There's no phantom imbalance that it's going to feel that's 150 points up. But you would rather take your account and go gamble with the US 30 than—
I didn't gamble.
Well, you just told me you over leveraged. That's gambling in my talk.
No, that's on a different account.
No, yeah, I don't remember what it is.
Not on the same account.
You
on
gamble.
the phase one,
Yeah,
I didn't. On the phase one, I didn't.
Listen, I don't care about the
telling
phase,
you when
what I'm saying is you told us you gambled on the US 30. That's what you told me. You said, hey, man, I went to the casino I couldn't help myself. I shook these dice up by over leveraging. For whatever reason, I don't know the reasoning behind it. You have to figure that out. But it sounds like everything was going smooth. I don't like when things go smoothly, so I'm going to gamble. That's what it sounds like. I mean, and maybe it's not that, but at some point we there's the decision to be made. It's just like cheating. When you have a significant other, most people would agree that it's a choice to cheat. Like, I can't use the excuse, man, I don't know what happened. You know, I had a beer in my hand and this other shorty with a, that was dressed nice. She said something to me and I couldn't help myself. I just, it happened. That's not going to fly in most relationships. And if it doesn't fly in your relationships, it should not fly in your trading. That's all I'm saying.
Leandro,
Yes, Noel.
how are you? How are you?
Oh, I'm good, thanks. I'm just getting used to my weekly ripping, but it's okay.
Oh my God.
Well, do you know what? I've been reading quite a few books and listening to quite a few of the SMB podcast, and they were talking about the different market conditions, and obviously you need to change up your strategy or your system to and some traders, struggle in different market conditions and stuff. And when I was looking over my when I made that mistake on Friday, I was like, yeah, stop, because you're not in that condition anymore. Like before, in, what was it, 2022, I think it was, when US 30 used to do those runs, which were quite quick, I could get those trades. Can you remember, Todd? I was doing those trades like daily, but it's not that condition.
Over leveraging was cool in 2022. That's what you're saying? Which market?
No, it's not. It's not. I'm saying it's not. I'm not saying over leveraging is cool. I'm saying that the markets are in a different condition, and obviously, yeah, over leveraging is not cool. It's not. It's not good. But yeah, I told you I'm working on my risk management and patience and stuff. Getting back to that, but yeah, it's a different market now as well. So yeah, just got to
journal. Journal.
I already journal.
You do?
Yeah, that's how I know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. But I know that I need to work on those things. It's not something that's foreign to me. I need to work on those things, but things take time.
Well, I mean, when you get nervous, you got to go back to the basics. We know how to set the fib, right? You just do it. I mean, I understand, okay, it's volatile. It's like, I don't know up from down. I'm in the wrong bias. Am I in the wrong bias? I'm not sure what's going on. It's doing something crazy. You got to get the quarter. You got to know what the number is, and you got to know at least your 4 hour or your daily time frame bias. That's your go-to every time. If you can't get it from there, you need to leave it alone. That's self-control. And then you have a whole group of people around you that know what they're doing, right? So you just come in there and talk to them, and then they might get you on track because you do know what you're doing. You're not there by yourself. You have people around you, right? People are not using this for what it really needs to be used for. We got Ant on indices. He's killing the game. He's killing every chart. Like, get with Ant. He's there. Gold, Baba, Kim, everybody's doing gold, so we ain't got a problem there. There's no problems. And then we hear people talk about it. How in the world? How? There's no way. No, not with what you have, your resources. No, there's no way you're missing anything. Not with me. If you walking with me, you like OG be ping, 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 knocking it down. But it's accountability once again. No off. He's doing his thing. I wish I could be on with him. I can't really. My time. I gotta get to sleep and do stuff like that. And make sure I'm not no animal during the day. And he does his thing. I do my thing. Everybody's doing their thing. Gotta love it. But to see people have problems like that, it doesn't make sense for you. All you gotta do is do the little setup right there and get yourself back to square one and start going out.
Can I ask you, OG, where would you put your fib then on here?
On the swing low and the swing high. Now, in that picture, I don't have all the candles, so I wouldn't know where to put the fib. What is my goal? It's okay, 50%. It's just what the market's going to do. It's going to drag you 50% to the equilibrium, right? Why is it that every time we want to go to a chart, it seems to have you in the center of structure? And then we get into the week, it does its thing. And then by the time we get back to here, it's at the center of structure again. There's a reason for that. For the people who are impatient, they want you to make a move right here because they know you're going to be 50% wrong in both directions. That's just what it is.
And my question is, when you said you weren't expecting price to buy up.
Right, right.
So when it bought up, when did you get in for the sale? And why did you get in for the sale?
When did I get in for the sale?
When did you get in and why did you get in?
Because it created this 5-minute bearish order block. And then this imbalance, this gap in price, this imbalance.
Okay, so where did you get in at?
Here.
Okay, where was your stop loss?
Well, it wasn't there, it was here.
Why, if the order block is above it?
And no.
So this is a classic. I mean, if you put your stop loss above the order block like it's supposed to, you're in great shape still.
I know, that's what I did after, and I was like, well, if I
Hey,
just, followed the rules,
yeah,
then this wouldn't have happened. Leandra, if you'd have stick to the plan.
You're on a 5-minute chart. There's no reason to get greedy on a 5-minute chart, man. It's crazy to me. Like I'm just trying to figure out where you are when you place these trade ideas. And
okay, let me go through my mindset of this is that I've already finished. Yeah, I've already finished. I got out like here on the sell trades. I got out down here. So I've already finished trading. This is after work for me. So right now, I'm doing things around the house, looking at my phone, seeing what's happening. So I'm kind of bored in a way,
All right.
So I really shouldn't be in these trades because I saw this rallying up. I thought, I don't know where it's going to stop. I haven't analyzed this for a buy, so I'm not going to take the buy. Yeah, that was my whole.
Let's hold on. Pause right there. Let me set it up for you.
Yeah, go on.
Let me set it up. You made money on that. Like you had made money already.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a boyfriend, right? You had just taken care of your boyfriend. Now you go to work or you leave, and now he's around the house bored. Right? Then this trade setup shows up. Some chick shows up. He's bored. He wants to take advantage of his boredom the same way you took advantage of your boredom on this trade. Sloppily. Are you taking him back? Are you? Anybody? Would anybody take their partner back? Think about that.
No.
You just got taken care of. Now you're sitting around bored, so you want to cheat. You know, I mean, that's for all intents and purposes. Your mindset is your mindset, period. This is how we live our lives, whether it's cheating on our spouses, cheating on our diets, on our God, on our whatever. This is how we are. We want to take advantage of things, of people. We have to change that. Like, if we want to trading is just a microcosm of who we are as people. Either we can control ourselves or we can't. Even if we know better, that's what we're saying. We know better than to hop into this trade. And even if we do hop into the trade, we could at least use protection. We could at least put our stop loss above that high right there. But not only do we cheat by getting into the trade, we don't even use protection. We don't even put this.
I did use
a
protection.
5 chart. It's not a 4-hour order block. It's a 5-minute order block. How many pips or how many points is that?
From where to where?
From where you put your stop loss to where it should have been. No.
100 pips.
No. From where you put your stop loss to where you should have put your stop loss.
62.
So you cheated for 62 points? Really?
Oh, don't please.
Really? 62 points, y'all? This is what we've boiled ourselves down to. We want to skirt 62 points. That's crazy to me, man. Like when I hear this, I'm in disbelief.
What is in disbelief when you talk to me?
When you learn how to do it right, you get on the side of laughing at this type of an example because of how simplistic it is. Right? If you say that this is important to you, how important is it really? Because if it's that important, you wouldn't do that in anything. In life, in trading, life is trading. Trading is life. It's the same thing. And it's good to have the example. It doesn't feel good, but when you do it as a training purpose, this is a training purpose. We're talking about you actually in your trading, but everybody goes through this, right? So it's good to put it in words because people who don't want to come forward, we already know what you're doing. We already know what you go through. We've been there and done everything. So there's nothing you can get past us. And we can tell when you're talking whether you get something or you don't get something. We can tell.
And I totally understand where you're coming from because as a guy who actually lived my life like you do your trading, I've cheated like that. Same, I didn't care about the person I was cheating with. It was just an opportunity. It's all, I mean, it was honest. I was just trying to take advantage of my boredom or whatever, right? I didn't really mean anything, like any harm by it. If the trade had worked out, you'd have made extra money. If cheating had worked out, you just had an extra piece. And honestly, I didn't mean anything ill by it, the same way you didn't mean anything ill by taking that trade. You weren't trying to blow your account or lose money. You weren't trying to do that. But at the end of the day, like, we have to change the way we think about that. Like, fundamentally, like, the thought process should be like, I can cheat right here. But that's wrong. I'm not going to cheat because it's wrong. And I don't know how to help you get to that mindset. But that's really the mindset that we have to have as traders. And if we don't, I mean, the tuition fee for trading just goes up until you get that mindset. But I just find it really interesting, and like, to me, you're dogmatic about cheating, the same way I was in real life, and it's fascinating to me because the same way you can't help yourself, I couldn't either. But I never even knew I had a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's fascinating. It really is.
Yeah. Because you know, when you're around people who know, you can't bullshit them, you know. And you want to graduate, right? Because you don't want to be on that side, you want to be on this side, right? That's why I love therapy. That it helped me figure all this out, learn how to communicate, call things what they are, and then deal with them from there. You can't call it what it's not. That's why I stay with that, and it annoys people because they don't want to slow down and figure it out. They want to fast talk and try to get by and get more for less. And that's the hustle, right? I get it. But when you understand how to do things the right way, that is a different hustle. And it's the best hustle, right? Because everything, the I's dotted, T's crossed, no, everything, all the time. Let's go. You know, cheating can get you things, yeah, but doing it the right way can get you better things.
100%. Thanks, guys.
And one thing is for sure, man, like over leveraging is cool. It's fun, it's exciting. You can make more money by over leveraging. Those are facts. Just like you can get more sex by cheating. The problem is eventually you're going to get caught, or eventually, there's a mistake that gets made, and then you have to deal with that, right? Sometimes it's you blowing your account or blowing your relationship or whatever the case may be. So if you're okay with dealing with that, then that's cool. It is what it is. But if you don't want to have to deal with it, then just don't freaking do it. And you make a ton of money without even over leveraging, man. Like the setups are there. It'd be different if the market didn't give us setups every week, or we couldn't go and make 3 or 4 grand every week.
And this is why I'm so disappointed with myself on this week, because even though I did have some success, but this is what I'm trying to not do, and I did it at the end of the week, and it's just like really grinds my gears, like it's not healthy behavior that I want to implement in 2024.
I agree. I just can't wait till you get a boyfriend, then, because I'm gonna be the dude be like, no, you can't leave him. No, man, like he made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't necessarily have to be cheating, but it really shows us as people that we all are flawed. And we all have to, it's a continual thing. Like we have to continue to work on those flaws. And even because somebody makes mistakes, even if they make them repeatedly, it doesn't make them a lesser person or a bad person. It just makes them a flawed person. And you can see these flaws. Like this happens to everybody. Everybody wants to make more money. Everybody is greedy. Everybody. If everybody walked by a bag that had $25,000 on the ground, they pulled up to the ATM machine, it was a bag with $25,000. How many people are turning it in? Some people will, but it's going to be more people that take that bag than turn it in. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, is it the right thing to do? Depending on who you ask, depending on where your morals are. But we're greedy. That's who we are as people. It's how we were raised. We were raised to be greedy. It's why we have the super big gulp and the double gulp. And that's why the drinks get bigger and the plates get bigger. The portions get bigger. Nobody ever goes to a restaurant and brags on how small the portions are. Because the greed in us wants, I want half the cow for a steak. I don't want a 4-ounce or a 6-ounce steak. Even if you need a 4 or 6-ounce steak, you want the 8, the 9, the 12-ounce steak. We have to scale back. We have to lower our expectations, because that's where the beauty of trading is. Because over time, right? Over time, that mentality pays a lot more than somebody who's greedy. You're never going to lose an account by risking less, especially when you know what you're doing. When you know how to trade, you never ever lose your account by risking less. It's the mental game that we play with ourselves to say, hey man, I got to risk all this percent because I got to make this money now. Then when you ask yourself, Leandra, what bill do I need to pay with this $8,000 that I just made on trading? Then there's the deer in the headlights look, because you realize I don't have any $8,000 bills. I didn't actually need to make this $8,000.
Mhm.
So I risk my future. I risk the money that I could be making, the life that I could have on a fictitious bill because I wanted to make 8,000. That's dumb. It's dumb.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
We all do it. There's not a person in here that hasn't done it. When I see a juicy setup, I have to tell myself the same thing every time. Let's not run down the hill, Todd. Let's walk down the hill.
Mm.
And if you've ever seen colors, you know what I'm talking about.
I can dare that deep purple.
Do what?
What does she trip for? I think. What purple? The color purple.
Who knows? It's a movie called Colors.
Oh.
It was two police officers, and it was a old police officer and it was a young rookie. And the rookie wanted to bust every gang member, and the old dude was like, "Man, that's a hell of a way to go through a career if you try to bust every criminal." So he told him the story of these two bulls. It was an old bull and it was a young bull, and they were at the top of this hill grazing, and it was like a pasture full of cows. And the young bull said, "Hey, Dad, let's run down this hill and screw one of those cows." And the dad said, "No, son, let's walk down and screw them all."
Mm-mm.
So the same way with your trading. Don't make $1 million on one trade.
Mm.
Make 1 million trades for $1 a piece. You're gonna last longer. It's mindset, man. The people who last long, right? If you look at those videos that ETN does, he don't really interview young dudes. Most of the people he interview are old white dudes. Been trading for 30 years. They all live in Asia somewhere. They're millionaires. They trade mini lots. People who last long in this business figured out that it's the size kills. The size doesn't help you, it kills you. It looks cool, but it's not your friend.
Mm.
The longer you hang out in the game, you'll understand when you can use size. It's always going to be at the start of the trade.
No, you're right. Yeah, thank you guys. I think it's as retail traders, we're doing quite well because like I said, I was listening to SMB and reading One Good Trade, and they actually have a psychologist at hand, Dr. Steenbarger.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even have a psychologist or to talk about where we are emotionally or how we're feeling when we're in the trade to talk to. So That's one of my goals this year, is to be more vulnerable and share, and take accountability, more, because not only will it help others, but it will hopefully help me.
I agree. And
For
I
sharing,
yeah,
Sandra.
I appreciate you sharing and having thick skin, because I love to tear your ass up for real. And well, I'm serious. I think that I have a lot invested, a lot of time invested, and I honestly want to see you live the life that you deserve to live. And I know it's possible. Um, it just it's a decision that needs to be made. And sometimes as individuals, we don't understand that it is a decision. Had I never joined the army, I would not understand that it's all about a decision.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. You decide to do whatever it is that you do. Now we can make 1,000 different excuses, but for a determined individual, there is no excuse. There's no excuse that exists that will prevent somebody from doing something. If you like to eat, it doesn't matter if you just ate, you're going to eat again.
Mm.
It don't matter what that doctor says about your blood pressure. You still going to eat. You're going to shovel those salty, sugary products all down your esophagus until your heart stops beating. You're going to eat right to death. People do it every year, every day. They get diagnosed with cancer. They go through their radiation and they eat a Snicker bar right after that. They feed that sugar into their system to help grow that cancer. When every cancer person will tell you not to eat sugar. That's the only way the cancer can grow is through sugar. It's really remarkable. We can train our minds to do whatever we want it to do. Whether it's running, whether it's fighting, being a boxer. You think them dudes don't hurt, man? Like they get to a point where they just push right through that pain. And they literally get beat senseless for a check. It's the same with these markets. You either keep bringing your money to be withdrawn by other traders, or you make the decision to be the person withdrawing checks. You make the decision. We have the information. We decide how we react to the information. One trade at a time. Sometimes you know when you're too weak. Hey man, I'm tired. I don't feel it today. I'm not going to trade. I'll delete the damn app from my phone. I won't trade. Maybe you'll get to a point where it's cheaper to throw your phone out the window than it is to take that trade.
I just delete the account on MT.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that.
But I also have a demo account for things like this, which I haven't, because I had to re-download MT5. All my accounts have gone. But yeah, we live and we learn, and I think that looking back at my trading last year, I'm glad that I failed in a lot of different ways, because now it's just made me want to go harder and put more work in and more studying in to learn more. Because it is a journey and it's not going to happen overnight. And I'm glad it is, because if we're all rich, then it shows our true colors.
And you might be a trader that has to over leverage. And listen, you can get like 12 different accounts you can over leverage every month in every one of those competition accounts. I would encourage over leverage. And when you blow that account, You look at your real account, like, man, thank God it was in my over leveraged account.
Mm. Well, that's why I said that competition account, I actually got better entries than I did my real account. It's like, wow. I should have done the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been hung by the noose, guys. Take my head, bury me somewhere nice.
Anybody else got anything to share? So it's 25 people, and hopefully 24 people learn something from Leandra's issue. It's not just Leandra, man. Like, to a man, everybody, to a man, woman, to a person, everybody on the Zoom call deals with greed. We all do. It's whatever choice we make, and many of us over leverage and get away with it.
Mm.
Many times we'll over leverage, we'll get away with it for 2 or 3 weeks in a row. But it's the main reason why more traders are not profitable. McDonald's proved to you that you cannot outwork a computer. And if you believe these markets are ran by computers, and you think you can over leverage your way into the life that you want, you're a bigger fool than I thought. If you believe that computers are are smarter than humans, this is not the place you want to be over leveraging.
Mm. I think it's like I'm just gonna start reading Atomic Habits again this month. I think it's a really good book to start the year off with in terms of like setting goals, setting attainable goals and building systems. And New Year's resolutions is a big thing, obviously at the start of the year, and setting goals and everything. But they say by the 14th of January, a lot of people just drop off their goals, and yeah, they don't end up being consistent with them. But I think, like you're saying about cheating, but it also starts off with those smaller things. Like, I like going to the gym and I work out a lot. And I'm in a fitness plan. But my gym instructor was like to me, yeah, what's your diet? Because you're doing all of this, but what is your diet? So I had to fix things in my diet. Until I started fixing things in my diet, then I actually started seeing the results that I needed. And it was those little things like snacking on biscuits throughout the day, or grabbing a packet of crisps instead, like when I'm hungry, instead of eating dinner. Like, once I started cutting out biscuits and crisps and changing them for carrot sticks and celery juice, and and start eating carbs and having salad with no dressing and balsamic vinegar dressing instead, he was like, wow, look. He was like, you changed. But having those things, it's harder to prepare, because I need to grate the carrots and wash them, everything, cut them up, prepare them, blah blah blah. But then a packet of crisps or biscuits is easier it's more attainable and it's easily accessible to eat. So instead of going in the biscuit tin, I've got to say to myself, right, how do I want to look and feel 6 months down the line, a year from now? If I just don't grab that and have some water or have porridge instead. Like the other night, I had no food to eat. Well, there wasn't any healthy food to eat, so I just had porridge and protein powder. Yum yum. But these are the kind of things that I'm putting in place because it's training my mind to build those systems, and it gets me the results that I want. So I know Todd goes on about cheating, but I think it's definitely down to the little habits that build up to long-term issues, which is harder to resolve. But if you start with the little things, then and keep going at those, like sometimes I even just have a piece of lettuce, just wash it and eat it if I haven't got any carrot sticks. Or I'll have to just run out and get a salad from the shop if I haven't got any food at home. Those kind of things. It's hard, but inconvenience at the time. But I know that having that biscuit or that packet of crisps that's readily available is not going to help me in the long run, and it's not going to meet my goals of where I want to be. And the thing about trading, fitness goals, any big goal that you have that is beyond yourself, it's going to involve becoming a new you, a new person, implementing new habits, new systems. And it is hard. It is extremely hard to train yourself. No, I'm not going to have that coffee. I'm going to have a green tea instead. Or I'm not going to have that slice of toast, cheese on toast at 12 p.m. Instead, I'm going to stop eating at 7 p.m. in the evening. That's it. That's me done. Just water for the rest of the night.
And you surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's hard to be that exposed, right? I don't really know anyone here. I don't know that anyone here has met anyone here. Eventually, hopefully we will. But when you hear someone letting out their truth, right, it's soothing, right? When you hear someone that's a cheater and you know they're a cheater and they're trying to explain the dynamics of cheating when we all know what it is and we're just listening to them and like I don't it's not good to hear, right? So we're building a community that doesn't do things in the old way. We do it in a new way. We can see, we can sense when a person gets it, when they don't get it, when they're trying to BS us. Like we can feel all that. Right? So we can tell when you're on it, when you're not on it, like, and you're gonna go through all these different phases, but you have the right people around you to go through those phases. Like it's not just, oh, OG does this. I'm getting from you guys just like I'm giving. That's why I give so greatly, because that's the importance level that I have for the group. I try to give you the best that I can, right? As the example. And go through the good and the bad. There's not really much bad in my trading anymore. Like I've totally graduated. So now it's just time to just help people up, right? Give them the best that you can give them, you know, all from a good place in our hearts when we give our time and in our efforts, and start getting people to come in and do and emulate that thing so we can have a bigger group of people who know and have can do these things, right? No doubt about it. So, but if we have to go through these things or we have to nail those things to the cross, right? Nail it so we can get to the next step. You can't get around doing it correctly. If we have to call you out for doing things that aren't correct, you know it's not correct. As soon as it comes out of your mouth, we're going to know it's not correct. You should even know it's not correct as soon as it comes out of your mouth because of what we teach here. If you're not talking about what we're teaching here, then you're off. And we don't want you to be off. I want you to be on point. From this day all the way through the year, we should have 10 to 20 more traders that are talking about, hey, it's time to go to the next level. That's what's up.
And I'm always going to ask you why. You know, why did you do it? Because the why is important. You're doing what you're doing for a reason. And you have to be able to identify the reason that you're over leveraging, right? You got to be able to identify the reason that you feel like you need more. You got to identify that lack. Where is the lack stemming from? And then you can target those things that you got to fix, because at the end of the day, you got to be able to fix that lack. You have to feel fulfilled, right? If your job is paying $800 every 2 weeks, but you in the market trying to make $8,000 every 2 weeks, there's a disconnect. You know, that's why ICT talks about making enough to pay your phone bill first, or making enough to pay your whatever your least amount your bill is. You pay that, make enough to pay that first. Then do it consistently. Now you can make a little bit more. Our approach, man, we got to change the way that we think. Anybody got anything for the good of the group?
Journaling. Not only trades, but thoughts, goals, and then reviewing them. That has helped me over my trading years to see what I need to work on. Some goals get ticked off, and some goals say continuing because I haven't met them yet, as we can see today. But it just means that it just needs more work and more patience, and it's some stuff that I delve into and then see what else is underneath those covers, because obviously it's something deeper that I need to work on. But journaling is definitely has helped me analyze myself, not only myself, my tradings, my life, as well, like things that I want to work on and improve on and change. Because what gets thing gets measured anyway. What gets improved gets measured, is it?
What gets measured gets improved.
Yeah, what gets measured gets improved. So that's one thing I'll recommend for the start of the year. Even if it's just weekly, journaling about how you feel. It's really good. I do fast at the start of every month for 7 days. Doing that I did the whole of last year, and it's really good. But some things are spiritual, some things are not, and God will direct you into what has directed me, shall I say, into what I need to work on. And
first things first, stop going to that Beyond. No, I'm just kidding. Beyonce.
Do what?
Leave that girl alone.
Who? Beyonce. What you mean?
Oh man.
What do you mean? What are you talking about, TT?
It's causing stagnation and poverty.
Huh?
In the trading aspect.
What?
It's greed. Greed is a spirit that also follows.
Beyonce, I agree.
Beyonce.
The greed spirit also follows up with stagnation, which eventually can lead to poverty.
But that's another story for another day. We can talk
It's,
about
it's,
that.
it's
Talk
just a
about that
fact.
together. we can
It's
talk.
just a fact.
But no, I'm not saying that you're in poverty. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
No.
the fact is that the greed is a spirit. I know you agreed with me on that, but it's definitely something that we can that can be completely cleared about. You know, you can clear that. I struggle with it sometimes, but not as much as I did for the first 2 years. I definitely, I'm right on board with you, Lee. But I think that what helped is fasting for me. It did help because it got me in it got my mind in a psychological place where everything that I did for those days was contributing to non-greed. So I was being non-greedy with food because I love my African food, and then I was being non-greedy with my trades. So I would leave my trades alone, and I'd be sweating real hard, like trying to trade, like wanting to make a trade. Like, no, I'm just chill. And that's how I was like, by doing that, I was leaving my trade alone and just allowing it. And like, I know Elfie was talking about, it tricked her out of the trade earlier, and then Britt said she didn't get tricked out of the trade this time. That's how it was for like UJ for like 2 weeks. Like, I was like, nope, I'm not gonna let it trick me out of the trade. And I had either, I think it was like a buy or a sell, whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna just hold on to my, I'm gonna just let it ride, hold on to my analysis, and I'm not gonna add another trade, and I'm not gonna get excited about everybody else posting like GJ is ready, everything is ready. Like, let me just chill and just take the trade that I'm in and not respond with my fingers and putting in another trade like, oh, this trade looked really good too, because I already have my trade set up for, if I lose, I'm gonna lose 2%. I don't need to add on to that if I lose.
The funny thing about you're always the one that's saying what trade is ready.
What'd you say?
You the main one in the chat talking about this trade is ready. Hey, this trade is ready.
Do I? Oh, well, I think maybe I don't see a lot of people posting about the trades, the different trades, but only sometimes now, a little bit more last week. But I just be trying to be a little active for somebody who might want to trade that pair. But that's definitely, I'm right. I'm hanging there with you, Lee. Like, we can do it. Like, we can really do it, and just takes time, patience, and that patience factor. Yeah.
He wasn't with me earlier when I was getting hung by my noose. He just let me hang.
With US 30 or what? you ain't telling me was getting hanged. You know,
the whipping that I got from Todd, OG, and Noaf. It's okay, you know, I don't mind.
See, that's your US 30. I ain't even know you was getting hung. I would have came out and tried to, throw some punches with you. But I didn't know, yeah. But I guess, tell us when you in the trade, and then we make you accountable. Like, how many lots you got on there?
Yeah. I don't know why, why don't you just tell us what your trade is when you put it in? That'll make it really straightforward.
Because then you have to be accountable if you did that, OG.
Yeah.
Because everybody will see you putting your stop loss. They'll be like, why is your stop loss right there?
Right.
Yeah. At least it'll say from a horrible loss. If it's in the wrong place, it could be corrected in time.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody already did the analysis, so everybody knows where the trade should be. So when you post it and it's not where it's supposed to be, everybody's gonna see it.
So then you have it. You can
Yeah.
do it like that, and we can.
you're going to see what the vision for the total package of this group is, that everybody catches the move at the same time. That means everybody's catching it at the 78, no matter what the pair is. So that's when the group should start being blowing up and getting active, when we know it's heading into that zone, right? And all these different pairs that people are tied into, whenever they go off, they're like, hey, check it out. That's what the group should become. That's what we should evolve into. We're already almost there.
New year, new us, right? New year,
Right.
same me.
Yeah, this is the last of the cheating for me. It's not happening anymore this year or ever.